Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new market update. And today we're going to discuss Ethereum and we're going to discuss what's happening with this drop down. But before we're going to start, I'm happy to announce that I've got a partnership with the site that you're seeing here, which is Bitvavo. And Bitvavo is an exchange that's based in Amsterdam, and they are one of the cheapest, one of the fastest, and one of the most user-friendly exchanges that's out there, and one of the few exchanges that I'm actually using day in, day out. You can stake your coins on there, you can cash out your money with the SEPA transfer. Even in weekend times, it's being transferred in 30 minutes to your bank account. So everything is very smooth in this exchange, and they'll be definitely listing the top projects that are out there. Polkadot, Atom, that's on the list. So I would definitely argue to check out the link of Bitvavo beneath, as that's one of the primary exchanges that I'm using. So yeah, that is at least one of the safest places around here. Then, next thing is that you should not forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, as we're going to discuss Ethereum as the main asset for today. And what's happening is that we're losing some momentum of the markets in general, which isn't bad. We have been discussing this in the live stream last night. There were some critical levels that we had to hold on to, and the markets were making some downtrends on the lower time frames, indicating that we were seeing some more downwards pressure. And if we zoom out a little, it still shows that we are inside a very bullish cycle. So even if Bitcoin is going to correct towards 45k, it's still in a very bullish cycle, as even that drop would definitely not be a bearish outcome, as markets tend to move in waves. Next to that, we have been discussing the actual fact of avoiding FOMO and deriving your entry point based on historical price action. And we'll be discussing one of those coins that I've been discussing last week as a very interesting coin to watch in itself. But first, Ethereum. And we have been discussing Ethereum in the previous live stream, in which we stated that there were some critical levels that we had to break. So we had this entire run up. However, Ether failed to break through this region between 1900 and 1970. So you can see that we don't have a breakout at all here. We failed to hold on to 1850, assuming that we would drop down further down the line towards the support region around 1700. We got many tests on this level, and we were even bouncing towards the critical resistance zone after that, which is this entire red block. So I argued that if we want to become bullish, we have to break through this region around 1850. If that happens, I'm assuming we'll be seeing new all-time highs. However, we have been testing the support on, and the more often the support gets tested, the weaker it becomes. So we fell through. And now we are just hanging in between a few important levels. So essentially, if we've lost this level, I'm going to look at 1500 level in general, as that's the primary level to watch in this case, especially given that we are making a range bound construction in which this entire region is just a range in which we're going to act into, and anything in the downside is a buy zone, anything in the upper side is a sell zone, until we get that compression going and the price starts to run off heavily. So right now we're just hanging on a small support, which is 1650, but you can already imagine what the critical level is to break through, which is this region around 1750 that has to break if we want to become bullish. So preferably you want to see a run like this, in which we flip 1750 again, triggering a long entry. However, the most common outcome after this drop down is that we fail to hold on to, get a run towards 1750, reject immediately there, and get another drop south towards that region around 1500 that I'm assuming is going to be a critical support zone that I'm going to watch, or at least have been watching since some time, for a long entry on this one. And then when you start to zoom out on Ether, you can see that it's just still a very healthy sideways construction, in which those constructions have happened in the past as well. So it's just a regular correction. It's a calm pace for the markets, through which indicators can reset momentum can reset, FOMO can drain away, and the people that have been jumping into the markets get their first lesson of avoiding FOMO in general. And then the more important coin, or at least chart that we have to watch, is Ether against Bitcoin. And you know that I've been focusing more on the Bitcoin charts recently as on the USDT charts, as the Bitcoin charts derive your information about altcoins performing against Bitcoin. And ultimately, your target is to increase your Bitcoin value, and you want to avoid being in an altcoin running up in USD value, but you're just being outperformed by Bitcoin, through which you're losing your Bitcoin value in itself. So what you want to do is you're going to look at the strength of those altcoins through the Bitcoin pair. And Ethereum has been showing weakness since the beginning of February, right? And it's currently getting into zones that you should become interested once again. So the green zone that we have here is a very important support zone to hold. That is one of the regions that I'm going to look at for an entry point. If this is lost, as the concept of testing support levels more often is being applied here as well, you should not forget that the next level that I'm watching is 0.27 sats in itself. So these two regions are definitely on the list for me, and I'm focused more on the Bitcoin pair at this stage than that I'm going to look at the USDT pair, as the USDT pair, as you can see, is being influenced by Bitcoin USDT in itself. So I'm going to look at this one more than I'm going to look at Ether USDT at this stage. And then we've got some of those coins that I've been discussing last week, in which we have been deriving those levels that were important to watch for the markets to get an entry point to. And we have been saying that this first region is a day trade region for Chilis to take an entry on, given that the price has been accelerating really fast in the previous run-up, as you can see. And we've also derived those swing trade opportunities, which might be missed, which might be filled. That is just a question, but you're not going to chase trades in itself. So Chilis has seen a beautiful bounce from this region for 45%. This is more 45% run. If you took the trade, congratulations, it's following this scenario. So right now we are getting again in that support zone, giving it the second test for support. If we do make this bounce up, the entire range of resistance, the first one is 55 cents, then 60 cents, and then of course this region has to clearly break, just as we saw on the previous charts for Ether, to get more momentum going. So if this is breaking, you would assume that we're going to test the highs once again. However, making another lower high would indicate that we're making another test of this support, and then I'm going to look at swing trade opportunities for Chilis in the region of 27 cents and 37 cents. So this is a lesson where you should be avoiding all the FOMO, all the people saying Chilis is going to $5, Chilis is going to $10 because of this, that, partnership, blah, blah. You should avoid any of that noise or news related items and focus more on data, as data is giving you the information that you need. That's the lesson of today. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel, check out Bitvavo, and I'll see you again tomorrow for a fresh new market update.